Hello everybody, Reggie Time here with another bum hunting bloggy type video. The first video in 4 or 5 days, I think. I spent 3 days playing some No Limit Hold'em, struggling for hands. I think we made 4 hands that were maybe capable of looking at in that 3 or 4 days, and none of them are particularly interesting. And then this afternoon I decided to play a little bit of PLO just out of frustration at how shit and reggy the games were. And in about 3 hours of PLO afternoon session, which we're going to look at later, there's just one hand from that. And from an hour and so I played tonight, we managed to collect around 10 hands to look at. Now, I know you No Limit Hold'em guys won't particularly enjoy the PLO content, or maybe not so much because you're not going to get that much from it, any of you guys who look at me for some kind of guidance, but there's some fun hands in here for sure, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. Any comments on the way I played the hands are very much appreciated. If you think I played a hand badly, by all means comment, but try and do it in a constructive way. If you're just like, oh, you played that shit, you're a fucking idiot, then that's not going to garner a response. But if you feel that I could have taken a different line and you felt I played the hand badly, I'm more than willing to take that on board and try and learn from it. So yeah, please do give your comments. If you're in the YouTube group, I'm going to post this video to the YouTube group. Please leave your comments on there, and please timestamp any hands that you're commenting on, because it's a pain in the ass to try and look back through them. If you say when you had the Queen 8 Jack Deuce, I would have done this. If you can timestamp it or at least give the time, that'd be helpful. So without further ado, let's get into the hands. Let's get this playback speed a little bit faster. No, that wasn't what I wanted. I wanted the next one, didn't I? There we go. So this is the heads up. This guy's tagged green as a fish. I don't know why, because I don't know him, but I've clearly got him tagged as a fish for some reason. So we raise in a heads up pot Queen Deuce 8 Jack. Not a pretty attractive hand, but probably plenty strong enough to raise from the button. And opponent calls, we flop a straight draw, bet, pretty standard it seems. Maybe we could check back, and we don't really want to get raised here too often, I guess, but I think betting's better. We turn a flush draw, and I think my size here is too small. I think there we need to just bomb that turn there, really. We could represent quite a lot of good value hands. We don't really get value from anything at all. Maybe we just end up getting called again. But I think it allows us to do more stuff on the river. That makes some larger bets as bluffs and things to put big pressure on it. It's like 10x or 9-5, stuff like that. Excuse me, I don't think my bet's big enough here. I think it needs to be much bigger than that. Closer to pot, really try and polarize a little bit. And he calls. We river the second nuts and make a smallish bet here, hoping he just cry calls with ace 9, 10 9, maybe some smaller flushes that he's backed into. He's got a 6 7 or a 7 8 with spades. We can't have the 7 8 of spades, but just try and get into call. Try and get into call with a worse hand, and he raises, and he's representing basically the nuts or nothing here. Problem is we have the second nuts, and much as I hate calling check raises on rivers, I just felt I couldn't fold here. I mean, I wouldn't be at all surprised to see him just turn up with King 8 spades here, King Queen spades, and make something. Well, I couldn't, because again I got the Queen of spades, King 10 of spades, maybe King Jack spades, stuff like that. I wouldn't be at all surprised. I think we have to call with the second nuts here. Didn't like it, as you can see. The time bank's going down, but we did, and we ran into the nuts. So yeah, that's the first hand. Let's try and find the second one. So this appears to be the next one, I think. We have the aces of an unknown player and plenty of fish around. Hope this is the hand we're meant to be looking at. I guess we're going to squeeze as big as we can, which we do. Call in 2 spots, flop top set. Nice life, I guess. I mean, I should probably just pot it there. When we see bet this big into these two players, I mean, yeah, I don't really see the difference between using that size and using pot. I should just have mashed the pot button. When it called, we turn the nuts, of course. Well, we flop the nuts, we continue with the nuts. I almost thought about checking, but then we just jammed and got it in against somebody who had like a really poor draw. They have no business, in my opinion, calling squeezes with that hand, but they do. And when you win, it's really cool. And when they suck out, it's really frustrating. This is one that we're going to win, of course. And yeah, happy days for us. Not much to say about that one, really, I guess. This hand, this player is the same player as earlier with the check raise me in the river with the nuts versus the second nuts. We've he's opened here. He was opening most buttons with 3-bet 9-8 Jack Queen with one suit. I'm not sure it's a great 3-bet. This is the one hand I'm like really not that sure about. This player, who's a fish, so I didn't really take much notice of him. He got pretty salty after the hand, and like criticised my play. Then criticised me at another table too. I'm not asked about that, but I'm interested to see what you guys think of my line here. And the 3-bet, should we just be flatting? If we're double suited, it seems like a really easy 3-bet. But again, somebody's opening a lot. We have like a pretty nice rundown hand. I'd rather not have the gap in it. If we could have swapped the 8 for a 10, it would have been much nicer. And I think it would have been mandatory 3-bet. But I don't know. He and 4 bets, and maybe I should fold here. I think this was his like main bone of contention. I mean, it looks to me like he has aces here, and I think we're getting a pretty good price here, like 2-1 to suck out on ace. We're in that 30-odd% equity. I'm pretty sure we'd have 30-odd% equity pre-flop to just defend and then just try and flop well enough to like felt aces post-flop. That was my game plan anyway. That was like kind of call this, hope to flop something reasonable. I don't know, 2 pair trips, maybe a straight draw, something like that, and then just gamble. That was my thoughts here. I think folding would be too tight. You know, he's probably just got aces. It's going to be quite easy to play post flop, I guess. If we just miss, it's easy fold. So I went with the call, and then we flopped. Interestingly, we flopped second pair, gut shot, 2 paired outs, backdoor flush draw, and we check to our opponent. I'm not sure if we just lead here. I don't think we should, but obviously if we check any bets, we probably have no fold equity with the check raise. We can't really check call. I wasn't sure what to do here, to be honest, but I elected to check. Our opponent potted it. And I just think at this point, in a 4-bet pot, we have a pair, gut shot, backdoor equity, plus 2. If he does have just aces here, like naked aces, with not much else going on, I just think we need to go with our hand. I'm really not sure. I'm very, very unsure of this hand in general. I mean, was it a 3-bet? Maybe. Should I have called the 4-bet? Don't know. Should I have check jammed here? I think like getting it in on the flops if I made a mistake on the hand, I think like this isn't it. I think maybe calling the 4-bet was a mistake. Maybe choosing that to 3-bet was a mistake. Maybe I've made some mistakes pre-flop, but I think post-flop it kind of plays itself once we flop a pair. Gut shot, backdoor draw, and especially on a dry board like this, where he's not going to have like any like killer draws. So I did elect to go with it. Sorry, I clicked the wrong fucking pause or play button there. He did turn up with like just the naked aces, and fortunately we backed into quads. So yeah, that was a nice one. He did start bitching. We're not going to show the bitching because there's no real. Well, we're not even looking at the chat, so we can't show the bitching. But he did do a bit of bitching. I understand he's entitled to be frustrated there, but whatever. I mean, comments would definitely be welcomed on that hand for all points. Please try not to be result orientated and just try and be as objective as you can. Not at all sure about this one either. We have a loose passive player who limps. Didn't think this hand was really strong enough to isolate with. I'm not even sure it's strong enough to be playing, but I elected to over limp on the button. Not sure if that's good or bad. Don't think it can be too bad. One of the better regulars is tagged as orange from No Limit Hold'em, but he's a PLO regular, probably knows what he's doing. Probably should be red in PLO terms. Definitely orange in No Limit, but should be red PLO maybe. Certainly, he's playing every day, and he plays this, and he plays 52, presuming he knows what he's doing. He's a good player. The loose passive player folds, but I mean, we're getting 3-1 pre now, so I just called anyway. We flop the nuts, which is always nice. Checks to us. I just decided to pot it if hopefully someone's got the case 9. If not, they maybe got a flush draw, pocket 5s. I don't know, but I just like to pot it. I guess we maybe could go smaller here. Spoiler alert, by the way, we pot it. I think we pot it anyway. This is the same player from before who gave us all the grief for cracking his aces. He was telling me how shit I was, etc. He was continuing the abuse at the table. He did that, which was very satisfying. My only hope here was now that, I mean, hope he doesn't have a 9 with like some side cards that he gets there with. But I mean, we've clearly got him crushed. I mean, we hope he's just got like a flush draw or something. That'd be sweet. If he's got a 9 or pocket 5s, would be sweet too, of course. We're drawing virtually dead. Well, full on dead, I guess. We just have the super trivial jam, no point time banking. And he actually had 1 out, which was a little bit disappointing, really. I was hoping to have him dead. He had the 1 out. He didn't hit it. We dragged down a nice pot, and I did not say a single word in the chat, which I thought was nicer than try to needle him. Stick the needle in on a cooler, which I sometimes would do against dicks. It would dicks in the chat, but I decided to take the moral high ground, and I just sat in my ivory tower, enjoying the fact that I didn't needle him back for felting him in a spot where he had 1 out, because he was like slagging me off for chasing earlier and what have you, and this, that, and the other, and he got it in with 1 out. I accept he's got like a pretty strong draw, but he had 1 out, and yeah, I was tempted to throw the needle in, and now he got all his money in with just 1 out, but I didn't bother. I would decided to be the bigger man and just enjoy my victory more silently. So here we have the dreaded aces again. Not particularly attractive aces. We do have a suit and a high card, I guess. I think 3-betting is mandatory, which is what we do. Get a limper that just cold calls. And then the other person calls. He leads out on this board, and I wasn't sure whether to just jam him in. Folding's out of the question, I guess. There's just an absolute shit ton of draws he can have. And my decision here, for me, in my head, was: do we just jam now while we like it, or do we call, and then if any kind of straightening card comes off, like 6, 8, 9, jack, etc., maybe then get away from a turn jam? And I wasn't really sure what to do. I think in hindsight I prefer just jamming here. I mean, if he's got one of the sets, then fucking hallelujah. He probably doesn't have too many flush draws, given we've got the nut blocker. I mean, I guess maybe he's got like king with 2 hearts or something. He might just go with it here. I mean, I elected just to call, but I think in hindsight I should just jam. I've been like trying to be really careful not to like go broke with aces as much as I normally do post flop. So I'm kind of like not sure when it's time to go with it and when it's time to give it up. But on this board texture, there's no like immediately obvious made hands that have us beat. If he does have 2 pair, we have some equity against that, I guess. But there's no obvious made hands that could have us beat at this point apart from sets, I think. But I think I should just have jammed there. Called. We get pretty much a perfect turn card. I mean, if he's got the 4-6, then fucking hallelujah. He just got us. There's now more draws that come. He sets us in. We have an easy call, and he's just got like the pretty big draw with the like whatever that is, the overpair and the is it a wrap? I don't know if it's a fucking wrap or not, but it's a pretty big straight draw anyway. So I don't hate his line. Not sure if I'd have preferred to see him check raise it, maybe. If I was him, I maybe would have gone with the check raise rather than the lead. I don't know. But anyways, he had the draw, we had the weak made hand. I presume he's a favourite at this point, and he got there with the 8-9, made the straight. I guess it's just like the ups and downs of PLO. We got there in the 4-bet pot earlier. Someone's got there against us now. It can be quite irritating, but you've got to take the rough with this move. It's just something I've historically struggled with in PLO. My mental game at No Limit's really strong. Mental game at PLO is average at best. Didn't feel like my mental game went wrong in this session. It wasn't. This evening session wasn't a winning session. I think it was a round break even over the session, but I felt my mental game held up, which was something. But we lost this hand. So we move on to this hand. I'm not sure what went down pre here. This guy was making the game. He was very loose and splashy, min raise, 3x pot. He was all over the place. He was definitely the guy that was making the game. I'm guessing that he made some kind of raise pre, and we just defended this hand, which I wouldn't normally like. It's just like a pretty crap hand, but multi-way with a potential fish in the pot, I decided to defend it. I think against this dude, he was like c-betting a decent frequency. We have top two, we have a gut shot, and we have like a second nut flush draw. More than willing to get it in here versus this guy. I think we're probably ahead, and if we're not ahead, we've got like a really nice draw. So I went with the raise. And this probably wasn't the hand we were meant to be looking at. That probably wasn't the one. Yeah, let's see if we can find the one we were meant to be looking at. Just noticed that I should have called with the jacks there. So we move on to the next one. We've opened the 8-10 Jack Queen under the gun with the suit. Presuming it's completely fine to do that. I mean, I can't imagine it's not fine. We get a call from the Loosey Goosey guy. We get a call from a regular and a fish. And we flop the absolute world's fair. We got bottom pair, which is like nothing. But we have like a super strong straight draw. And he's 7 through queen. Gives us a straight. Backdoor flush draw 2. Some overcards. Really nice flop for us. And just pot it. Let's go. I'm willing to gamble with anyone at this point, of course. Even a nit like me. He jams. We have it super easy. I was trying to jam more money, but we didn't have any. He had the 2 pairs. We binked straight away and held. So yeah, that was pleasant too. We play a pot with this guy later on. He was playing at a few tables. He was playing 2 tables of 20. He was playing a 50 table. He didn't seem very good, to be frank. But he was playing 3 tables, which is a bit odd, but there you go. That's what was happening. We will get involved in a pot with him later, which doesn't go our way. In a hand that I think he played interestingly. This hand again, we didn't catch the pre-flop action. It looks like we've called some kind of raise on the button. I think this guy maybe raised to 50, if I remember correctly. Again, not sure whether this is like a mandatory defend, but it's relatively pretty. It's on the button, and we have position on 2 fish, who hopefully we can make some really good decisions against. And flop checks through to us. I guess we could just check back here and realise our equity, but we do have like the big open and straight draw, like any ace, 5, 6, 4 gets us there. We have the backdoor hearts too, so I think betting seems fine. We can certainly handle a raise. If we get raised, we can call or jam. We get called. Turn to queen, and I think I make a mistake here. I elect to bet again, and I'm not convinced by this. I mean, this player can have an absolute ton of queen exit. He's just never folding, obviously. Yeah, I think we should definitely just be checking back this turn when on the queen. I think it's a really bad card to barrel. I guess I was just trying to like make him fold some like medium pairs or something that he just clung on with on the flop. I don't know. I think this is a pretty big mistake, this bet, which is then compounded in a moment when he min raises, and I'm like, fuck. Could well be drawing dead now, but at the same time, he might just have a queen, you know. If he just has like king, queen, ace, queen, but any queen, don't have to be king or ace, queen, I guess. And it's like, you know, maybe we just have to call here and just stack off when we make our straight, fold when we miss. It was horrible. I shouldn't have bet the turn. Let me get min raised. I mean, we could easily be drawing dead here. I fucked this hand up. The turn was never a bet, really. But no shame in my game. We showed a good and a bad. I think this was not a huge mistake, but a big mistake. You can see I didn't want to call, but I called last minute. Then we didn't get there. Then we got a fold to his river £5 jam, and it was all just a little bit sad. But I think the turn bet there was a pretty sizable mistake. As we move on to this hand, this is against the guy we talked about earlier who had the 8-9, and he was playing a few tables, 2 20s and a 50, and he wasn't a good player in my book. He was playing 3 tables. Normally when I see people playing more than 2 tables, I presume there's some kind of regular. If this guy is a regular, I'll be pleased to meet him again. We open the aces, he 3-bets us. We're obviously delighted to get the 4-bet in. He then calls, and then we get, well, it is what it is, isn't it? I mean, we got the SPR of just over 1. It's not a great flop for our hand, but there shouldn't be that much out there that's beating us either. Very unlikely he has 2 pairs here. Very unlikely. Doubt he has too many sets except jacks either, unless he's got something like, I don't know, king, king, 5-5, king, king, deuce, deuce, that type of thing, where he can have the lower sets. He shouldn't have these other sets, so unless he's got another pair with them, I wouldn't imagine. Maybe he does, fuck knows, but it's another one of those spots where we've got aces, and I guess we're well committed at this point. He checks. We pot. He goes with it. And it's like 3-bet with, I mean, I just don't think this is a good 3-bet. But I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, please do. But I mean, this hand does not seem like a 3-bet pre. It certainly doesn't seem like the kind of hand you need to be defending versus a 4-bet. I just think he's like mashing buttons here. But it's quite disappointing because he has an absolute ton of equity against us. He's got the 2 pairs and he's got the flush draw. So we're in pretty fucking rough shape here, considering like how strong we felt we were pre. I mean, he's just flopped the absolute World's Fair. And this is definitely one of the... I mean, I ended the session shortly after this because, as you can see, this table was like kind of 2 regulars and another regular came and joined quite quickly. And my other table had just kind of changed quite quickly too, and it had gone from being quite fishy to 3 or 4 regulars at the table. So it was a good time to end the session. But yeah, this is the frustrating side of PLO when people just do, in my opinion, and it might not be shit, but I think it probably is, when people just do shit things, really shit, stupid things, and then get excessively rewarded. The injustice hurts me sometimes. It probably shouldn't. It's part of the game. We should be delighted that people are calling 4-bets with 8-5-7 deuce, but when they get there, it stings a bit. But anyways, that is what it is, and we didn't improve, and he dragged down that pot. Sorry, I didn't realise I hadn't paused the video. Sorry for the complete lack of commentary there during all of that nonsense. So we get to this hand. We're just in the previous hand with the ace. I didn't bother showing that hand on the video. That wasn't why I was doing it. I thought I'd pause the video. Clearly I hadn't. Never mind. This is the last hand of the video. I think it's pretty fun one. Not sure about this call pre. I mean, I think it has to be fine with the fish in the pot, another fish in the blinds, and we have like 4 pretty high cards, lots and lots of straight potential. We then get squeezed, and I was all set to fold here, no problem. As you can see, I hovered over the fold button, and then everyone called, and I thought, well, fuck it. Now can we fold at this point? We're getting like nearly 4-1 on the call, and someone's going to have aces, you would imagine. But it's not going to be too hard to play a hand post swap versus aces. I'm just going to hope to flop really big. I did call, and we did flop really big. We flopped the nuts, which is nice. And I just elected, I think, like doing anything other than leading out here is a mistake. We could potentially go for the check raise, I guess. But there's just all kinds of hands we can just get fat value from right now and then just protect against any draws. Having the Queen of Clubs is nice. It does like contain blockers of some draws, I guess, but I just let out for pot. It's a really fishy table. We've got the nuts. Why not? Everybody decided to call. We get perfect turn. Well, not perfect, rather it was deuce of diamonds, I guess, and there's one less draw to fade. We have like the really easy jam for our last 8 quid. Which plays right in the tank, getting best part of 10-1 on his money. And those are the hands that we were up against. This guy had 3-bet this time pre-squeezed. And I don't hate the 3-bet, but I think when you're squeezing so many of the players, I don't know. And again, maybe this isn't terrible, but I think you probably just better calling there. It's PLO and Sky Twitter PLO. You have no fold equity pre-flop. Cannot remember the last time I had 3-bet pre-flop and got a fold in PLO. In a multi-way pot, I'm not sure. In theory, it's a nice pretty hand to 3-bet with. In practice, squeezing against multiple opponents. Not sure I'm a big fan of it myself, but he's done it, and then he's flopped like shit, really like all kinds of weak draws, and decided to commit when he's been led into. I think he's butchered it. This guy, pre-flop, I guess he maybe can stay in the pot. Although I think I probably would have folded versus the squeeze, given that we've got 3 clubs. But once he gets to that flop, of course, he's going nowhere. Not right sure what this dude's doing. I mean, yeah, he's got an open end straight draw, but it's the lowest end. He was already drawing dead. Yeah, he was just adding some nice little juice to the pot, wasn't he, I guess? So the trick now is, do we get to hold? If we get to hold here, happy days. If we don't hold, it's massively tilt-inducing. And we did. We got a really solid hold on, and we dragged down a 400, nearly 400 big blind pot, which was pretty fucking sweet. That's what's inspired the hands later in the session. I thought, fuck it, let's play some PLO tonight instead of no limit. And we ended up just having like kind of a break-even-ish, maybe small losing session in tonight and the previous, like, however many hands we reviewed. But yeah, hopefully it's been of some interest to you guys. It's got me some content out, and ending on this hand, even though chronologically this was the first hand, that should have been the first hand, I think it's nice to end on this one, end on a positive note, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Any comments or questions, please leave them below. Take care, everybody, and bye-bye for now.